What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we have WWE top 10 facts about what The Rock is cooking. Let's get started with number 10. He eats 10 pounds of food every single day. The Rock is something else. Look at him in 2004 and compare him to 2013. He became stronger and bigger. A reason for that is his eating lifestyle. I know this sounds absolutely insane, but it's true. The Rock does in fact eat 10 pounds of food every single day. The Rock eats approximately 5,200 calories per day. But The Rock doesn't just sit and eat 10 pounds in one sitting. Instead, he eats a reported 7 meals to maintain the gains. The Rock is a strong fat ass. Number 9, he's the first athlete to host Saturday Night Live twice. The Rock holds the record for all athletes in the world, which is him being the first athlete to host Saturday Night Live 2 times. The Rock's first appearance was in 2000, which was the first time a WWE wrestler was the host of Saturday Night Live. Although he was only there to promote WrestleMania 2000, he ended up making another memorable and funny appearance when he did a sketch being titled Mr. Peeper's father, Johnson, would go on to host Saturday Night Live a total of 4 times, and he also had a returning character called The Rock Obama. Number 8, his football career. Everybody pretty much knows that The Rock played college football with the University of Miami, but he kinda made it to the pros of Canada. After college, The Rock agreed on a 3-year deal with the Calgary Stampeders of the Canadian Football League. He was actually very heavily recruited for being one of the top high school prospects in Pennsylvania, but The Rock was making chump change, possibly as low as $150 a week on the Calgary Stampeders practice squad. After getting cut from the team, The Rock's football career is officially over. He finally came back home and started to train as a wrestler with his father. Thank God he was cut, or else we would never have The Rock. Number 7, Don Morocco was The Rock before The Rock was The Rock. The Hall of Fame of 2004 was the year Don Morocco was inducted, but did you know he was the first wrestler to be named The Rock? The WWE decided to rehash the name and give it to Rocky Maivia in 1997. You would think that Don Morocco was just another failure in the WWE, which is why they gave Dwayne his name, but that's not the case. He was a 2-time IC champion during the 80s, and also, do you remember that guy Jimmy Snuka jumped on off the cage? Yeah, that's Don Morocco. The WWE never brings up Don Morocco as The Rock and acts as if Dwayne Johnson is the only Rock, which is pretty sad because they are ignoring Don. This isn't the first time someone stole a name. Ric Flair isn't the first Nature Boy. Buddy Rogers was actually the first Nature Boy. Number 6, catchphrase was added to the dictionary. The Rock is one of the greatest mic talkers of all time in the WWE. Some of his famous quotes are, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," or "Shut your mouth and know your role." But one of his most famous one is Lathe the Smackdown. The word Smackdown was becoming so popular, they even gave a Thursday night special for The Rock. The show first aired in April 1999 and became an instant hit and became its own show and part of WWE's brand extension. More interesting is in 2007, Smackdown was added to the dictionary. Yes, The Rock's own word will always be written down in history. Number 5, Bret Hart refused to beat Rocky Maivia. Raw on March 31st, 1997, we were gifted to see the only ever match between The Rock and Bret Hart. The Rock, back then known as Rocky Maivia, was a rookie and was looked as a great prospect by Bret Hart. Bret Hart even said in 3 years The Rock would be the biggest star in the business. Oh, how he was right, guys. He was definitely right. Anyways, in Bret Hart's 2007 autobiography, Hart talks about how Triple H and Shawn Michaels were telling him to beat The Rock. But Hart refused and thought that defeating The Rock would cause The Rock to lose credibility. So instead of winning, he suggested a DQ win. This is also the reason why The Rock and Shawn Michaels had personal issues. Number 4, arrested 8 times. The Rock is a role model to millions of kids today. But back then, saying he was a role model seemed like an impossible thing to say due to his legal trouble. The Rock was arrested 8 times during the ages of 14 to 17 for theft, fighting, and as he says, all kinds of stupid stuff. Almost all those arrests were because of stealing, admitting he was stealing from high-end apparel stores. But The Rock changed and uses this experience to help inspire others to turn their lives around, as you can watch on TNT's Wake Up Call. And no, guys, I'm not promoting for them, I'm just saying where he helps, and I'm not promoting. Number 3, why did he wear a shirt while wrestling? The easiest way to say why The Rock wrestled with a shirt during 1999 is because he had man boobs. He had gyno, which is a condition characterized that enlarges the breast tissues in males. The reason he had this condition was because he was using roids, which is a main symptom. To reiterate myself, he was using steroids, and you can tell from his body. This is not as common as it is in Samoans, and yes, The Rock is half Samoan. The story is that The Rock had surgery in 1998 to reduce his man boobs, and yet to keep it away from public. Thankfully, by March 1999, he was good to wrestle shirtless again. Number 2, The Rock is a great guy, plain and simple. One example, Dunkin' Donuts offered The Rock a promotional deal which would have a donut named after him, but instead he turned it down because he thought people would look at him like a cocky asshole. During the mid-2000s, The Rock also donated $2 million to the University of Miami. In 2006, The Rock founded the Dwayne Johnson Rock Foundation, which currently works with at-risk and terminally ill children. He also bought his mom a brand new car for Christmas and also his housekeeper an SUV. And number 1, he refused a feud with Shawn Michaels. Everybody wanted to see it. The Rock versus Shawn Michaels. The story goes that Michaels disrespected somebody in The Rock's family. Back then, Michaels had drug and alcohol problems, which made his attitude even worse. Bret Hart mentioned many times that The Rock was going to be a huge star, and Michaels was talking a lot of shit about him, saying that The Rock wasn't going to be anything. This is during 1997 and 1998, right before Shawn Michaels left due to a back injury. The Rock was apparently asked if he wanted a feud with Shawn Michaels, and he denied the offer. Yes, maybe if Shawn Michaels was different back then, we might have had that feud. The feud that we will never have, that we will always want to see. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. And who should I make top 10 facts about next time, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Also, take care and spike your hair.